This is your before and after story. Instead of imagining a rewarding career in medical imaging, Southeastern College can actually take you there. Prepare for a career in ultrasound, radiology, and X-ray technology with hands-on specialized training, simulations, and real-life experience with the latest imaging technology. You'll be ready to play a vital role on any healthcare team. Transform your life by helping others. Southeastern College. Your future is bright. Visit scc.edu to get started.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back in. It's another hour of Live Bet Saturday, and thanks for hanging out with us on the first day of the NBA and NHL playoffs. Game one, Will Hill, might have been a bit of a letdown. Bucks and Pacers was not all that close. Indiana won by 18 to kick off that Eastern Conference first-round series, but Clippers Nuggets, it has lived up to the hype in a series where all the money was on the LA Clippers, from about plus 150 underdogs to closing as minus 120 favorites in the series. Short dogs in game one. They've led by as many as 15, but here come the Nuggets, Will. Just have taken their first lead since the first quarter. 3:06 to go, 93-92 Denver. Our 1.5-point live favorites, 204.5 is your live total. I have to sweat out I have my plus 3.5 from pregame that we bet on the air last Sunday here with the Clippers, but outside of that, I really haven't been tempted to go in game. I just want to sit back and enjoy what's been an amazing game, and the level of shot making has been out of this world from really the Clippers, especially whenever they've had to answer the Nuggets. But now here Denver goes, and they've really gained some footing. I had a big make by Christian Brown, or a big miss by Christian Brown, followed up with a big putback by Russell Westbrook there to take their first lead in quite some time, nearly 2 hours.
Yeah, it was a big putback by Westbrook, but he has not done much to help the Nuggets cause, and he's just never been my favorite player. And anytime he is prominently involved, it's not a good thing for your team. And he is right now 3 of 11 with 9 points. So a lot of smoked layups. And, he's got a habit of going so hard to the basket where he smokes these layups. He goes into the photographer section, and it's a 5-on-4 the other way, which it was just now. And Denver, I think it was Christian Brown, recognized that, committed the foul, and it's going to be Clippers ball out of bounds here. So just a hell of a game. High-level series for round one, high-level game one. Defensive intensity, stars. This game has everything. Keep in mind, Jokic does have 4 fouls, so 1-point game. Overtime is looming here, and this game has been so low scoring here that, let's see, even with overtime, you might not get to your over, but overtime certainly a possibility. So keep that in mind with Jokic with the 4 fouls. Who do you think wins? I've got a feeling. Denver is. The Clippers are getting free throws, so that was a big not get back by Westbrook there as Harden ties the game with the first one. I feel like Denver steals it, but I don't have a great feeling about it. Who wins, do you think?
Well, I'm thinking about this through the prism of both of our bets here. Will with the Nuggets in 7, looking to go a little contrarian for all the pro-Clipper sentiment in the market. I just have the Clippers on the spread game one. So how about Denver by 2 here, Will? Would make everybody happy.
Beautiful. I mean, since I have it in 7, it's not like, I mean, I'd prefer the home team to just hold serve. That's probably the best way to get my bet. But yeah, I mean, they could just, as long as it's 3-3 after 6. I mean, I would prefer Denver to win just because they're home, and that's, lessens the possibility of a short series. But it's not like I'm in dire straits if Denver loses this game. Is Westbrook with a beautiful assist from Jokic, 95-94 Denver Clipper ball.
Gotta love Westbrook making a wide open layup and then flails his arms as he goes to the ground to try to draw an and one when there was not a defender 5 feet away from him. But that beautiful find by Nikola Jokic to set it up. Westbrook with the lay-in. 95-94. Just stay on it. And then we have in mere moments tip off here between the Detroit Pistons, New York Knicks. I've got Karl Anthony Towns over 1.5 3-pointers made at minus 135. I do like that specific matchup. Will, for some of these games with Towns, the way the Pistons tend to play a little more drop coverage, you'll see him on the Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren matchup. And Towns has been a guy that in the regular season against the Detroit Pistons hit his threes at a very high clip. Was just pulling up the updated numbers here. 44% and attempted about 5.5 a game. Like him to get 2 or more threes in game one tonight. But we both do like Detroit for the series here. Will taking the shot. Detroit in 6 at 9-1. I've got over 5.5 games at minus 115. So that is our angle. It looks like this will close Knicks minus 7, 222 on your game starting here in just a couple minutes. Are saying that is 6:18 p.m. Eastern time. So we got a few more minutes to get a bet in while we watch Denver get multiple offensive rebounds and then what just happened? Multiple offensive rebounds. Clippers get a strip, but they blow the play dead after the strip and apparently a foul called. 1:40 to go. Denver still leads 95-94.
Who they call the foul on, because there was a lot of contact. Gordon hit the ground. It looked like he had the rebound, had it taken away. Did they call Gordon for committing the foul, or did they call that as Gordon being fouled? I'm not sure.
They said Chris Dunn loose ball foul.
Ooh.
And they're not in the bonus,
okay.
So this is just a side out here for Denver, and they will not.
But that was going to be a fast break for the Clippers, so that was big.
It was, yeah. That would have been a 4-on-0 basically for LA. The way that played out. Nuggets got a couple offensive rebounds in a row, and they get another one. Jokic, the miss inside, and then another foul called on the ground going on the LA Clippers. So total was 224.5. Yes, total. You're still in good shape if you have under, but wow, is this spread about to get awfully interesting here, Will?
Bonus time. So Jokic will head to the line with a 1-point lead, shooting 2.
And at the line right now, Clippers, this is the second quarter of 4 where they've scored less than 20 points, although Jokic misses the first free throw there to keep it 95-94. Oof. So yikes for Nikola Jokic. Just looking at Jokic's line today, a guy who's always so aggressively priced in the he missed both free throws. Wow. Always so aggressively priced, Will, in the triple-double, the PRA market, 27, 10, and 9. He's a board short of a triple-double today, but picks a bad time to miss his first 2 free throws of the game. And
sure did.
It leads to a great look. Zubats gets the goaltend. And, I mean, how good has Ivica Zubats been tonight? 21 and 13 for Zubats, 10 of 15 from the field, and the Clippers are back up by 1.
Underrated player, really underrated player. What a terrible trade that was by the Lakers for who was it? The kid from Bucknell, Muscala. Just an awful trade. That was several years back. But yeah, Jokic had the first free throw, spin around, spit out. ABC has this as 27, 10, and 10. They have him as a triple-double already. So I don't know if there's a discrepancy with the stats. That obviously matters for anyone that bet the triple-double. But 2 huge missed free throws. So now Denver will get the ball and be down 1, and just very uncharacteristic for Jokic to miss a couple free throws like that.
100%. ESPN showing 9 rebounds for Nikola Jokic, so that's always fun for prop bettors. Whenever you have the discrepancies right there. While we wait we got a review going on right now. 96-95 Clippers, 1:11 to go. Awesome finish coming down to the wire. The Sunday slate isn't great, Will, simply because 3 of the 4 games are double-digit prices. You have the 2-1-8 series that get underway, Cleveland, Miami in the East, OKC, Memphis in the West, and then the 2-7 series where Orlando as the 7 is actually the biggest underdog in any series at 18-1, catching 13.5 against Boston. Any desire to do anything with those 3 games where you have such a wide variety and such a big price to be laid on those favorites, where the books are saying, hey, we don't want your money on the favorites. Go spend it somewhere else.
I like Orlando team total under 95.5. I just think Boston is, as Jokic takes and misses a 3, but another offensive rebound. So the possession continues. I think Boston has so many bodies to throw at Paolo, so much length to throw at Paolo. They can help off, they can double, and there's just not enough shooting for Orlando. As another 3 gets missed, and finally the Clippers clear with a rebound, so they'll have the ball up 40-something seconds to go. Unless Orlando's going to shoot lights out from guys you don't expect to shoot lights out, Boston's just got so many bodies. They're home. They're rested. I think they have another gear after the malaise of the regular season. As the Clippers turn it over, I'm sure we'll get a review here. So Denver will have the ball up 1 with 32 seconds left, kind of going back and forth here. I just think it's going to be hard for Orlando to score. I'll take them team total under 95.5. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't mind that play at all. 95.5 team total under. And a game that's already seen under money down to 206, and you're taking the under on a team that is getting 13.5 points in the market. We'll go to review here, so we'll have a couple extra minutes. Just a very casual possession from Kawhi Leonard. He holds the ball out.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray knocks it right off Leonard's thigh. Shocking from a guy of Kawhi Leonard's ilk to be that laissez-faire with the ball in a moment like that with the Clippers up 96-95. Nuggets get the ball now, 32.6 to go. I mean, from the plus 3.5 perspective, if you got, you had opportunities to get that on Sunday when the lines opened. It was out there for probably 5-6 hours. You're just saying, okay, this is fine at the 1 point range because it's either going to lose by 1 or by 3. No overtime, hopefully, but a lot could still change here with 32.6 to go. A quick reminder before we resume with this review and this timeout going on in Denver that it is time to plan your Vegas getaway, especially with all the NBA, NHL playoffs going on at the moment. Circa Las Vegas owner Derek Stevens has a great offer for all VSiN fans. He's giving you 15% off at the Circa in Las Vegas, the D and Golden Gate. You just use promo code VSiN15. So book your stay now at circalasvegas.com. Use the code VSiN15 and you get 15% off at either Circa, the D, or the Golden Gate. Your Vegas adventure starts here. So they added a little bit of time on, 33.5 to go. 96-95 Clippers on top. So we wait for what this Denver possession will be. It's always fascinating where, a Denver team that has been reliant so heavily on Nikola Jokic, the possession will be based in his hand, but the brilliance of Jokic will Nugget fans and bettors hope that it's on display right here. His ability to draw defenders, but also use that to set up other players or to find his way into taking a shot if he needs it. And that's the tough part here that Ty Lue has to defend on the Clippers side.
And as great as he's been, if they don't score and win this game, those 2 missed free throws, as great as his stat line has been, these 2 missed free throws are going to loom large over this game. And that's going to be something that sticks to Jokic a little bit here.
It. And for 2 free throws to come at that particular time when he has been so good all night. Jokic still being listed here. 27 points, 10 assists, 9 rebounds. That's the ESPN box score. 1 shy of a triple-double. When we return, closing seconds. Nuggets, Clippers in LA, who got all the betting support, pull off the game on upset and take a stranglehold on the series. Can Nikola Jokic show some magic one more time? When we return, we'll tell you how that all plays out and also get thoughts on the best of the 4 games in tomorrow's Sunday slate. Golden State in Houston, which gets underway with a near pick'em price. That's all coming up right after this on Live Bet Saturday.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
For Colorado, 98 apiece. 98 apiece between the LA Clippers and the Denver Nuggets. Back with Will Hill. I'm Ben Wilson. Just what we all expected, right? Will out of the timeout. Denver down by 1. Russell Westbrook, corner 3. But sure, it goes down. Denver takes a 2-point lead, then matched by a James Harden floater in the paint. 98 all, 18.7 to go. Now we have spread and total implications because this total that's been a dead under squarely comes back into play if we get overtime. Meanwhile, Clippers, whether you had them plus 3.5, 3, 2.5, you want Denver to score here and win the game at the buzzer, at least on a 2. And that's all that's in play here is Denver set to hold for the last shot. What a great moment, Will. What we said, we hoped Denver by 2 for my spread bet and for your Denver future to get it off to at least a good start on the Denver in 7. But see what happens here. 5 seconds to go. Jokic passes it up. Is Westbrook going to take another shot? Westbrook, what is he doing? He doesn't even get a shot off. Oh, my goodness. How is that the play?
Oh, my goodness. What an absolute cluster. You know what? We go to overtime. What a horrible, horrible possession.
What was that?
Mike Malone's got to be sitting somewhere having a beer, laughing and saying, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't have gotten rid of me. We would have gotten a better play than that. I know he made the 3. That's one. Before that, I know that's one if you're the Clippers. You know what? You're up by 1. If Westbrook wants to shoot a 3 and he makes it, you just kind of tip your cap. And then he just completely throws up all over himself on this possession. So we go to overtime. Like you said, if you had the under, you sweat now. This comes into play with any of these props where, man, I'm a half a rebound short or half an assist short. You go to overtime, who knows? Maybe a double overtime and beyond. I wonder if they'll push back Knicks Pistons because of this late start. I wonder if they'll do that here, as this was scheduled to tip at 6:18. It still is according to the schedule, but updated odds -1.5 for the Nuggets, -154 money line, 220.5 on the total. So you got a little wiggle room based on the total. What did this close the total? So you still have a little wiggle room, correct?
224.5. So you're still ahead. technically.
But you can't be feeling great after you're sitting here counting your money, which you can never do with an under. You're counting your money now, as long as we avoid overtime, and man, up one, when it's a 1-point game with 17 seconds left or whatever it was, 20 something seconds left, you feel pretty good. Like you said, that probably going to land on one either way and we're in good shape, but to overtime we go. What a hell of a game this has been.
Yes, it has been. It seems like it still appears we will get tip-off momentarily between Detroit and New York coming up. 6:18 Eastern. Knicks will go off 7-point favorites, 222 on the total there. I was also wondering and I'm just doing the math right now because second half total was 115 in this Clippers-Nuggets game. So that one's awfully interesting because we only had 94 points. So that one also now is a huge sweat. If you took second half under, you were looking to clear that to the under by about 20 points. Now it is very much a sweat going forward. So we wait for overtime to start. That is about to get underway shortly, as well as Detroit and New York. We'll let you know Detroit and New York-wise, if there's anything in-game we're looking to bet as far as the start of that game goes. For tomorrow, while we wait for the overtime to start, Golden State, Houston, that's the one game that is going to have the most eyeballs on it. Rockets are an underdog despite being the 2 seed. They are just a 1-point home favorite, total at 213 for Sunday. How in lockstep were you with the market's view that Golden State, who's been a way different team in the Jimmy Butler trade, and since then was the rightful favorite here as the 7 seed taking on Houston despite not having home court advantage?
Rightful favorite, yes. $2 favorite, I'm not so sure. I think that Houston does present some problems. Their youth, their athleticism, their just raw physicality, and there's some nastiness between these two teams. They met late in the regular season. Udoka is a fiery guy. Said, these guys are crying the whole game. He was talking smack to Curry and to Kerr, and that's a feisty team, a physical team. You combine that, they've got Adams somewhere on that team with Draymond and Butler, who can be, cantankerous, I think is a fair word. So if there's anywhere, and I saw this for I think Knicks Pistons, over under for technicals, over under for flagrants or ejections, you could see some fireworks in terms of that. I can't ultimately get there with Houston. I did bet them plus a game and a half. I just have a hard time betting against Kerr, Curry, that infrastructure, Draymond, Butler. I think that rarely do you pick the road team to win in 7 or the lower seed to pick in 7. Usually, if you're going to pick the lower seed, like I said, with Detroit, New York, you pick them to win in 6. I just think that it helps Golden State that this is 2 days off in between as Gordon almost breaks the backboard, 198 Denver leads. 2 days off between game 1 and 2, 2 days off between game 2 and 3. Once you get to every other game, that favors Houston with their physicality, their youth, their size. That's a big team. Golden State's not overly big, as Harden comes back the other way and ties it. So I'm gonna look to split the baby here. I took Houston plus a game and a half. I think we could be looking at 7. I wouldn't be shocked if Houston beats them. Like I said, I just don't have the guts to pick against Kerr and Curry. What are your thoughts on this series?
Yeah, this was a stay away for me. You're always great at laying out the sort of matchups where you feel like an idiot. You very easily could feel like an idiot on either side of it, betting one team. Like if you pick Houston here, how many of these young, maybe a year away teams have a great regular season, but we kind of know they're like 2 seed in the West. This was all decided by a game and a half between 2 through 6 this year, where 2 seed doesn't have the same weight that it might have had in previous seasons. And how many times has it happened where that 2 seed flames out right away? We've watched it a bunch over the years, especially with young teams. So how dumb would you feel if you were the one who you rode that train thinking this time it'll be different? Whereas how dumb would you feel if you bet an aging Golden State team laying a huge price as a 7 seed who's already been taxed, who had to play a play-in tournament game after they played basically a playoff game against the Clippers in game 82 that they wanted to win to avoid the play-in tournament. This is to me. I'll call this a Will Hill special. You could easily feel very, very stupid and like a dumb better if you bet on either of these teams, and that's why I stayed away going into it.
I don't have the numbers in front of me. I could pull them up. I think if you want to get cute in Golden State in exactly 7, it's a good plus 550 because there's some negative correlation with expecting the road team, the lower seed, to win in 7. But we've seen Golden State win these back-breaking games on the road, especially against Houston. Game 7 was in 2018 in the Western Conference Finals. They're down double digits at half. That great Warriors team where Houston couldn't make a 3. Then there was the 2019 team when Durant was hurt in that series, and Curry broke their back in Game 6. So the Warriors, they're not a typical team. Playing on the road's not going to bother them. Winning on the road's not going to bother them. I think that Houston is alive in this series. I just can't ultimately get there. As Denver, Westbrook gets the line, makes 1 of 2, and Westbrook, since making that 3, it's almost the worst thing for him because he's thrown up some bad shots. But they get a stop and then another score, so it's 103-100. Denver with the lead, Clippers with the ball. What a hell of a game we've got here.
Yes, it is. Kawhi Leonard, big answer on a mid-range, back to a 1-point game, 2:30 to go in overtime, and they have tipped at the Garden. Knicks out to an early 3-1 lead on the Detroit Pistons as we're 2 minutes into the game. Their answer by Aaron Gordon for the Nuggets. This is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, all night. If you go based on the closing number, which was 2.5 at DraftKings and a couple other books, first time Denver has been covering that closing spread the entire game. And they get a turnover with 2:10 to go. So all of a sudden, my supposedly great number of plus 3.5 is very much in a little bit of peril here, Will, with 2 minutes even to go. Would have really been nice had Russell Westbrook not ended regulation with the ball in his hands. Like give Jokic a chance to win the game, and now Jokic gets fouled by Kawhi Leonard here with 1:53 to go.
And Denver now minus 810 on a money line.
Oh, jeez. Minus 810. All right. Well, Denver by 2. It's still a possibility. We can still get there. While we wait to see the outcome after this foul, it is a side out inbounds for Denver. Quick reminder: we're talking about all these betting moves and line shifts, but betting splits are a big part of that as well. If you want to see where the money is really going, our betting splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings, giving you insight into where the sharp action is really coming from. See the percentage of bets versus percentage of handle on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. You can get VSiN Summer Special right now. Become a VSiN Pro subscriber for just $59 until August 1st at VSiN.com/subscribe. Will, I had one eye on that read, one eye on just a ridiculous sequence in Denver that started with a Russell Westbrook ill-advised three-pointer. Can you take us through what happened after that? Because that was nuts.
Any three-pointer by Westbrook is ill-advised, man. Since making that 3, he's bricked about 5 or 6 shots. That's just the worst thing for him, is to give him some confidence. Yeah, a couple chances for the Nuggets to get a putback. They can't do it, and it is going to be Clippers ball, and I'm looking the app to check the live line. It is now 105-104. Nuggets with a – boy, we just changed again. So it looks like it's tough doing these live shows, watching the game on TV and checking the app, because the app is so far ahead. But Denver, it looks like he's going to answer that bucket by the Clippers and take a 108-104 lead here in the final minute.
And Norm Powell almost got a steal, but it at least allowed Denver to reset a little bit. 105-104 as we cross the minute mark. And Christian Brown out of nowhere drills the 3. And for the first time all game, for the first time in 3 hours, Denver is covering all numbers. 2.5, 3, 3.5. Denver by 4 with 59.5 to go in overtime. So if you had the Phillies run line earlier and you had Clippers plus 3.5, you've had a fun little Saturday. And by fun, I mean completely agonizing. Luckily, I only had one of those 2 bets, Will, but we'll see if the Clippers can get back inside the number. We'll tell you how this game wraps up. We'll also get into our NFL draft segment next and break down the rest of the Major League Baseball card before we wrap things up. Half an hour left for us on Live Bet Saturday.
On VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
It's always a fun show when it's Live Bet Saturday, and we're talking live sports, Will Hill, but this has gone to another level. Russell Westbrook has gone into put that cape around his neck mode, probably for not optimal decision-making reasons for Denver, but Nuggets by 3, 110-107. Westbrook, who the Clippers, after getting a Kawhi Leonard James Harden 3 to go down by 1. We're begging Westbrook to go at the rim. He does, misses, and then Denver gets bailed out because Aaron Gordon gets the offensive rebound, goes to the line, hits both free throws. 10.9 to go. Clippers down 3. We got spread, total implications. We're sitting 117. If you have under in the game, you just want to avoid double overtime. Now Nikola Jokic has a bloody nose. I'm sitting here with that Clippers plus 3.5 ticket from last Sunday, Will. We just want the Clippers to not jack up a 3 early, miss, and then have to foul. That's the one thing we don't want. But what another twist and turn that this already zany game has had for us.
Would you foul if you're Denver?
No. Play it out.
Really? Too much time left, or you're worried about – what are you worried about?
As Westbrook, by the way, knocks it apparently off of James Harden out of bounds. And now we'll probably get a 10-minute review here with 9.6 to go.
There he is. I mean, he is just
take everything negative back on Russell Westbrook.
I mean, he's just such an up and down player. He does make some great plays, but boy, living with him and how many dumb things he's done in this fourth quarter and overtime, then he makes a play like that his defenders will point to, and he made the three at the end. But let's see. Did you get a good look at it? I couldn't tell who it's off of.
The replay that we just saw, I thought that was off of. It did look like it was off of James Harden. Yeah,
I agree.
Westbrook kind of flashed right in front of him. I think that will be Denver ball. Which man, for the Clippers spread bettors out there, that was. I guess I should have added the one thing you couldn't have outside of a quick trigger missed three was the turnover on the inbounds play. I would not have fouled if I'm Denver. And I like the thought of. Trust your defense to close out on the perimeter. There's still so much time left as the inbounds is almost stolen right back, and they call a foul on the Clippers. But that's always the debate. To me, if it's when you're down to like under 5 seconds, then yes, you go foul because you've such such a small window. The Clippers would have are out of timeouts, but you foul at 10 seconds left. I mean, that's still an eternity in the NBA, even if you have to go the full length of the court. So I would have. Played that out. It ultimately didn't matter because Russell Westbrook got the steal. And now Nikola Jokic, remember, he missed 2 free throws last time he was at the line, did Jokic. And actually, he went 1 of 2 his last time. Before that, he did go 0 of 2, but he makes the first free throw here. So without any timeouts, we are going to need a lot of help on that Clippers spread side of it, Will, to get back into the number.
But you might get it.
Well, Jokic makes a second. Will doing the very professional job of looking at his app before the inbounds comes. All right, Norm Powell, one time. Step back, 3. Oh, he makes it. 0.9 to go. It's over. We did it, Will. Nuggets by 2.
Can they inbound it and you don't get the foul? They didn't reach for him. Game ends, lands by 2. You spoke it into existence.
Yes. Oh, Will. Well,
Good teams win, great teams cover. So the Nuggets a good team, Clippers a great team. Wow, what a game. What a game. What shenanigans with the spread. It does stay under barely.
Ooh.
And Denver gets a game 1 win. Clippers with a backbreaking loss. Now, you did some things well if you're the Clippers, but to blow that lead and have all those chances, that's a tough one. So not going to be a short series. The old adage, the series hasn't started till the road team loses. So I guess the series hasn't started yet, but a hell of a win for Denver.
I can't believe that actually happened spread-wise. Why is it whenever we're together, we just somehow it just kind of seems to work out if we're watching the game together live? That was ridiculous. And the thing too is, keep in mind, there's only one day off between games 1 and 2 in this particular series, and you've just played this super tough, physical, grinded out overtime game. Now we'll have to run it back, and it's interesting that the total closed 224.5 in game 1, Will. DraftKings just hung game 2. It's Monday night. Denver -2, so spreads come down. 219.5. They make a 5-point adjustment, and I can't blame the books for doing that because had they hung that number where it was, 224.5, it would have been one-way action to the under, would it have not?
I would agree. Knicks off to a nice start, 14-8. Initial thoughts, I got a feeling Denver, I would lay the 2, maybe even take the -130 on the money line. I think Denver wins again on Monday. It's Monday, right? Yeah, I think Denver wins a game. Do you think the Clippers even it up?
We said the strategy was to bet the Clippers game to game. I thought you were getting a pretty good number when that was posted 3.5. And we watched the difference between two very evenly matched teams. The difference between taking a 2.5 versus a 3.5.
Right.
In the NBA, 3, it's such a key number with that possession. And granted, in this particular sequence, you needed to get a little bit lucky with the 3 down by 5 in the closing seconds of overtime. But that number feels about right to me. That's kind of what I thought game 1 should be for LA being the slightly better team on a neutral court. You give Denver 3 to 3.5 for home court advantage, and that's where you put the line. So I feel like early in these series is where you have the lines at their softest and where you get the best opportunity to take advantage of the books. I would not touch the 2 right now since it is come down to a point that is accurate, at least how I view this series going.
Without looking, what do you think the series price adjusted to?
Oh, Denver, I would think Denver probably minus 160 to 180 now. Let's see if it's even. Is it up? Yeah, Denver minus 180. Clippers plus 150. Which is crazy that when we were sitting here on Master Sunday, Will.
I know.
Nuggets were minus 190.
I know. Now they got a game in their pocket and the line went down. Unbelievable. Great point.
When you think about it like that. I wish I had I bet Clippers. I didn't bet the plus 160 when we were looking at it. Will, had I done that, now I could basically get off for free,
right.
even down 1-0 if I wanted to. Alas, it didn't work out like that. And here we go. So Knicks underway, 16-11 early lead for the Knicks on top of the Pistons with 4 minutes to go there in the first quarter, and a layup for Cade Cunningham makes it 16-13. So Knicks minus 8.5 live, 216.5 is your live total. Meanwhile, the hockey has gotten underway. The St. Louis Blues, Will, your great Cinderella story underdogs who made the great run at the end of the season, early 1-0 lead. They're now minus 140 live. Winnipeg Jets coming back at plus 110.
That was 2019. They made that crazy run too, where they weren't expected to make the playoffs. They went all the way and won in Boston. I want to say Game 7, they won the cup in Boston.
They were Blues were dead last in the standings mid-season. Not even 10-1 long shots to make the playoffs. I think they were more like 20-25 to 1 to make the playoffs. They were dead last. Fired their coach and got hot and made it there to all the way. And not only all the way, but they won the Stanley Cup final that year. So that's what we have going on right now in the NBA and the NHL playoffs. About 5 games here coming up at the 7 p.m. Eastern window in the Major League Baseball slate, Will. So we'll run through these real quick and then close the show with a little NFL draft talk. A couple of good matchups, though, where Michael King and the Padres take on Hayden Wisniewski, and the Astros, Padres short road favorites there at 7 Eastern. I wouldn't call this a great matchup as the Athletics with Luis Severino take on the Brewers' Chad Patrick. Brewers a minus 130 favorite. And then Chris Sale and the Braves try to continue the rebound after the rough start to the year, taking on the Twins' Justin Topa. Braves a big favorite of minus 230 there with the run line about even money on Atlanta tonight. Anything of those 3 that you have interest in?
Yeah, Wisniewski's underrated. Astros have a habit of getting the most out of these pitchers, getting the pitch usage, whatever they do to get these pitchers throwing the ball well. Wisniewski's got good stuff, good numbers, and King's outstanding. So maybe a first 5 under there would be in play. I can't quite get there with the price on Sale. I know his numbers haven't been great with Atlanta here so far, but some of the underlying stuff, the strand rate, balls in play, you figure Sale will probably be okay. So nothing I'm dying. Well, I like the Giants. I think Hendricks is terrible. I think Hendricks probably doesn't belong in the major leagues. He's had a nice career, but his stuff is just not major league quality at this point. So Giants, maybe if you wanted to go Giants first 5 and isolate it, if you really want to go Giants team total over first 5 and figure, hey, I'm betting against Hendricks, I'm betting the Giants to hit Hendricks, I can understand that. So those are at least ones I'm looking at. How about you? Anything jump off the board to you in this slate?
No, I mean, I get the Giants-Angels was the one I was looking at. Landon Raup on the mound, on the bump for the San Francisco Giants. Maybe looking over in that because the Angels have been hitting, and they did get Logan O'Hoppe back into the lineup at catcher, who's actually mattered for them in the heart of the order back from injury where he missed a couple games. So I'd rather, instead of laying the $1.48, $1.50 price on the Giants, go over 8.5 in that one. We'll talk NFL draft coming up next. And a reminder, we've got special NFL draft coverage coming up this Thursday with a VSiN Primetime Draft Edition at 7 Eastern, then another draft edition of Cashing Out at 11 Eastern as well. You can listen or watch on vsin.com/draft or right on our VSiN Watch app Thursday from Lambeau Field in Green Bay. And we'll talk some NFL draft to close the show right after this on Live Bet Saturday.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
It is Live Bet Saturday rolling on what's been an outstanding window for NBA playoff action. Great finish in Denver where the Nuggets beat the Clippers by 2. Do not cover, though, notably, in that overtime game. And we're underway, Will, at Madison Square Garden. For all the talk about the Pistons being a super young, untested team, they've at least got a couple vets. Tobias Harris, Dennis Schroeder. They're not going to score in bunches, but they're at least able to give you a little bit more of a veteran imprint to help some of these younger guys. And I've been impressed with what I'm seeing early for the Pistons. 22-20 lead on the Knicks. 2 minutes to go, first quarter. And your live spread is Pistons now 4.5-point dogs. They closed catching 7 or 7.5. And 219.5 is your total, pretty much on the closing number. But a solid, positive start for Detroit, looking for that first playoff victory in nearly 2 decades on the road.
Yeah, and a good start now, 24-20. And even though it was early, when you see a young team on the road in the playoffs, an atmosphere like Madison Square Garden, when you see 8-3 Knicks, 14-8 Knicks, you say, let's not let this get away early. Let's not have this be 10-12, and then it turns into a party here at Madison Square Garden. They survived the storm. They answered back, and now even take a lead here with a minute to go in the first half, lead by now 2. So, again, it's early, but you want to survive that first punch as a young team on the road, hostile environment, and they were able to do that at least so far.
Will Hill on the Pistons in 6 train. Can it play out? I really want it to happen now for you. I really, for it to hit a little 9-1 shot would be great. It'll lead us into some best bets. We'll recap those here as we do have some other thoughts. We'll mention the baseball slate here to wrap up the Saturday night wave of action. And then I've got an NFL draft prop we'll throw out here as well as part of our best bets. As always, they're brought to you by GBank, official bank of VEASAN. And right now, sign up for the GBank Visa Signature Card. If you get that sign up, new customers get up to $750 in bonuses. Go to vsin.com/GBank to apply right now. You get $1,000 on eligible purchases within 90 days from account opening. If you spend that, you get a $250 bonus. If you spend $50,000 on gaming and sports app loads within the first 30 days of account opening, you'll get another $500 bonus. So potentially a $750 bonus for you as part of our GBank best bet. So you are going San Francisco Giants tonight. Operation Fade Kyle Hendricks, Will. First 5 action for you?
Yeah, we'll call it first 5 money line. That is a bet. Do you want to get into the games tomorrow? Can I use Orlando? I've given this out past on VEASAN, but Orlando team total under 95.5. Rockets plus a 1.5. And I'll add the T-Wolves plus a 1.5. So, man, we've said it, but great sports weekend. All the NBA and NHL playoffs, baseball, a lot of fun.
Also, I think we're going to add a Will Hill 50-1 to ground out to short against Kyle Hendricks. Can we mark you down for that too?
As long as I don't have to run the whole way.
I mean, hey, that all that bet stipulates is you just put the ball in play. I mean, hell, you could even hit a you could even hit a clean single to left, but you just don't run, and then you make sure that bet cashes for you.
Good point. Don't put it past me.
I would not. That's the one thing I would never put past you, Will. Best bet for me, we'll go to the NFL draft, where we've got special coverage. Another reminder of that special shows next Thursday as the NFL draft goes to Lambeau Field. What a sight that is going to be. 7 p.m. Eastern time, be some primetime special draft edition, as well as cashing out at 11 Eastern. So really excited for all the content with the NFL draft, with 2 live shows breaking down every pick from the betting perspective. Also, explore our NFL Draft Hub on the VEASAN Watch app. We've got exclusive analysis, team needs, and insights, vsin.com/draft. And for me, Will, one of the underrated aspects of betting the draft is looking at team need and thinking, okay, where for these over-under player positions, what is the logical range of outcomes for them to be drafted when you think about what teams actually need and are wanting to draft? For me, I went Jahdae Barron over 18.5. You can still play that at -220. I'm never that shy about laying significant juice, up to like -250 for some of these draft props. Since we're betting information, we're not betting the actual games that are happening in front of us. But a guy that's viewed to be potentially solely a slot corner at the next level, despite having really good workout numbers, having a great college career at Texas. But there aren't many teams who are in the mix for any sort of slot corner types early on in the draft. San Francisco at 11 is your most likely candidate for that. Miami could be in the mix too, but it would really shock me if you had 2 corners taken in the first 13 picks. Will Johnson, the one guy who could go that early for Michigan, who's viewed as a better prospect overall, is Barron. Then you start looking down the board and you go, okay, probably, the Buccaneers at 19, the Broncos at 20, Chargers at 22, Packers at 23, Rams at 26. Those are the teams that really want a corner and would be willing to take a chance on a guy viewed as maybe just a slot corner type. So over 18.5, that's where I'll go on the over here. Jahdae Barron, see him slipping a little bit compared to his previous very high draft stock of early teens as short as a month ago or so.
All right, and we talked about a little draft earlier and how it's hard to get down on this stuff, hard to find markets, more are starting to pop up. I'm in a state that doesn't have them, but just a couple thoughts. If anyone has the markets out there and can bet it, again, I don't have in Connecticut, so it's not like these other stuff where I can just look at the odds. Steelers to take a quarterback. I know that was in the 4-1 range. First of all, they don't have a quarterback. I don't buy Mason Rudolph as an answer. Rodgers, I mean, you can just leave me alone with what he's doing, what he's not doing. I don't care anymore. If he's going to sign with the Steelers, he probably would have by now. And they don't have a second rounder, so them to take a quarterback in the 4-1 range, if that's still the price, even 3-1, I think would be a good number. Again, don't have the number in front of me. And you mentioned Miami. It triggered a thought. I don't know what their number is to draft an offensive lineman. You can get plus money with a lot of this stuff because the hold is still there. You have to pick through so many different positions, so it is a little bit of a needle in a haystack. But with Armstead retiring, you got to protect Tua. I could see them going with an offensive lineman. So if you can get a nice number on them to take an offensive lineman, I think that's good. And I mentioned I do think there's a decent chance here the Jets go with tight end and go with Warren out of Penn State. I don't think they're going to reach for these quarterbacks. I think with Glenn, it's going to be build the team. I think people saw what Bowers did last year, making an immediate impact, even though it didn't result in wins, and saying, you know what, let's just find the best player available and build that way. So I think tight end and Warren is certainly in play for the Jets there. You get like 3-1 on that one.
You're not buying the Membu stock for the Jets. My Missouri Tiger brethren, Armand Membu. No tackle to the Jets at 7, Will?
I don't believe that's going to be the pick. Hopefully my reading of the tea leaves is correct and he is not the pick.
Or you'll be booing Roger Goodell at your TV screen come Thursday night, like many other Jet patrons around the country.
Those are the worst bets to lose the draft bets because you just see a tweet on who's going to be the next pick if that's how you're following the draft. And it's so instant. There's the hesitation there's the anxiety of let's see who the pick's going to be. Then the name doesn't match the name you want and you lose just like that. It's different than a game. It's a weird sweat.
It is.
It's not that there's a good way to lose money, but when you lose money on the draft, it's a bad way to lose money. It really is.
So here's the one I was thinking of, and this is relative to the guys at the very top. Right. So Cam Ward, minus 20,000 to be number 1 to the Tennessee Titans. Travis Hunter, now minus 900 to go 2 to the Cleveland Browns. Abdul Carter, minus 650 to go 3rd to the New York Giants. So 1 through 3 feels pretty much set. Even Will Campbell, minus 400 to go 4 to the Patriots, who certainly need an offensive lineman. He's likely going to be the top offensive lineman drafted. So this comes down to, because there's a bet, you can make an exacta bet of the top 5 in order. You could do the Cam Ward 1, Travis Hunter 2, Abdul Carter 3, Will Campbell 4, and then Mason Graham is the favorite to go 5th right now. He's only minus 115. There's been a ton of buzz on Genty going 5 to the Jags, but you could bet that number 5, that 5 exact to get plus 120. You could also then bet Genty at plus 250 to go to Jacksonville at 5. Like that, to me, if you're going to bet the top of the draft, doesn't it seem like, based on everything we've read so far, Will, Mason Graham, who is the favorite, or Genty, like I don't see where the Jaguars go outside of those 2 options as of right now.
Where do you think Genty goes? I hadn't heard of the Jags buzz.
It's weird because it kind of came out of nowhere, and he went from, and he wasn't really considered at all to be in that 5th slot. Now he's now Genty's plus 250. I'm just updating his draft position prop right now at DK, and it's 6.5, but it's under minus 235. So the thought is he doesn't slip past the Raiders at 6. But that's the one guy. Like it would not surprise me on draft day if we see Genty not taken in the first, I'll say 9, because I could see him going to like 10 at Chicago. I mean, it's a running back in the NFL. Like teams talk themselves into that, but these can be famous last words. But it's like you try to more look at the information in front of you. You try not to say, well, what should these teams ought to do? And I mean, the Las Vegas Raiders have about a cajillion holes. They don't really ought to take a running back in that position if it was me.
Especially a deep running back class, especially an offensive coordinator who has familiarity with some of the other potential running backs you take in the 2nd or 3rd round. If Genty does flip, and I do think that's a plausible possibility, the Cowboys are 14-1 to take him. Does Jerry get itchy and say, you know what? No, everyone's been saying my team's boring. I don't have a running back. I'll show you. I'm going to put a shiny new toy under the Christmas tree here in April here for the Cowboys. That'd be interesting.
One of the things we can't wait for, Thursday, draft night, and all the potential moving parts that will happen along with that. A lot of breakdown still to come on the NFL draft, the NBA and NHL playoffs. So keep it here to VSiN. We've got more Live Bet Saturday next with a fresh crew. Cashing out tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern as well. For Will Hill, for our producer Rick Chapsky, and everybody behind the scenes, I'm Ben Wilson saying so long here on VSiN.